Good morning to you all. Welcome to another video. We're up here early in the morning on Heathfield, overlooking my village. I normally come up here to get film of the hares, which I'm doing today if I can, or meditate, get a little peace and quiet, exercise, you name it. But most of all, I come up here and sit most mornings to overlook my castle. Yeah, Stirling Castle in the distance, in the lowlands down there. I can look over and see my castle and think about all those good memories. Now, my family has a connection with the castle, so let me tell you all about it, how we have a connection with Stirling Castle, the Royal Castle of Stirling. As I've told you in the previous blog, that when I was at the castle, my dad was stationed there when he was younger and he was in the army. And he was in the medical corps, so he was stationed at Stirling Castle. He came up from St Helens, and his barracks was Argyll's lodgings in the castle, so this was his base in Scotland when he was in the army, in the medical corps. This is how he came about meeting my mother, who lived in Bannockburn. Yes, you've probably heard of that, the Battle of Bannockburn. But this is the reason I have a good connection with the castle, so let's get on with this little story. Well, real story. Now, ever since I was a young kid, a young boy, the film that I always refer to that was made a long time ago was The Tunes of Glory. It's an ideal reflection of how I see my dad meeting my mother at Stirling Castle. Now, The Tunes of Glory was based and filmed at Stirling Castle, so every time I watch this film, it always reminds me of my dad and his army jeep and his army friends and meeting my mum. So yeah, that's got a good connection for me, as The Tunes of Glory. Now, along with his training up on the castle and their surrounding grounds, my dad and his mates also had some goodwill that they done for the community. It was just after the war, so there was a lot of rationing still. And what my dad did with his mates was they used to fill up the truck and the jeeps with vegetables and potatoes and go around all the surrounding villages and give out vegetables, fruit, whatever, all those goods to the community, just to have good relationships with the surrounding people in his villages. A great gesture, don't you think? And he also says to me that he used to get up to a lot of shenanigans going through the towns and whatever, so there's another story. But yeah, so you can see why I can relate to this film. So if you haven't already guessed, this is how he met my mum and my mum's dad, mother, the whole family. He basically delivered some vegetables and potatoes to my granddad, my mum's dad's home at Randolph Crescent in Bannockburn, one of his drop-off for serving the community. This is the reason they both met and fell in love, and they've been together ever since. Isn't this a great romantic story? So yeah, you'll now know why the Tunes of Glory is of sentimental value to me. Every time I watch it, I think of my mum and dad, how they met. Lovely story, real story. Yeah, beautiful. I thought I'd share that with you. Lots and lots of stories my dad has, hence he writes and writes and writes all his stories. So, I might share a lot more stories with you of my dad's adventures in the future, if he allows me. Anyway, what a beautiful day it is, and now you all know why I come up to Heathfield to overlook Stirling Castle, and all those memories come flooding in. I think it's time for breakfast now. Yeah. Have you noticed the skies are really black today? Dark, but the sunshine is shining through the clouds. Yeah. Let's get munching into this breakfast. It's about that time. I got a couple of deer on film this morning before I came over Heathfield, so at least I got something on film. As for the hares, they're missing in action again. I was thinking about doing a few of my wildlife paintings this afternoon if I've got time. I've got a washing to do as well. I've got the usual housework to do, but if I make time, I might just do a few paintings. Get me in the mood for the springtime coming. There's some signs of spring as well coming soon. Things are starting to bud. I'll show you them in the next vlog. But yeah, it's been a beautiful day. Skies are dark, but there is a threat of rain, but it never appeared, so maybe later this afternoon, but I will be back home by then. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I've shared a little bit with you about my mum and dad, how they met at Stirling Castle, and yeah, hopefully there'll be more vlogs like this. But anyway, I'm going to go home as soon as I finish this breakfast, and I'll catch us in the next one. Bye bye for now.
Mm-hmm.